I'm Christopher Reven, and this is Sea Talk. Welcome back to another episode of Sea Talk, our second one of this new channel, and just trying to grow us and see how this goes. Today we're just going to talk about the Phillies win last night against the Nationals. We're going to recap, how that game went. We're going to go through a little bit of the stuff that's happening around the MLB right now. We're also going to take a look at the Little League World Series as that's happening. And in reality, that's just kind of where all of our passions for baseball started. So let's take a look into the recap of the Phillies Nationals games last night. Phillies beat the Nationals last night 6-2. Phillies won. This one hit a little different. It was a clean 6-2 bounce back after a huge loss against the Reds. That series from the Reds, let's just forget about it. Losing 8-0 in that game prior. So coming back and be able to win that game 6-2 is something that's huge for the Phillies to be able to do, and showing the resilience for this team. Zack Wheeler took them out, and he did exactly what aces do. He wasn't flashy. He was steady. He gave 5 innings, 2 earned runs, and he gave 1 solo shot for the night, but to Dylan Lyle. But he never let the game spiral and get out of hand. He continuously pounded the zone and was the Zack Wheeler that we know can be good for this team. Damage control, he didn't panic. Zack Wheeler did exactly what Zack Wheeler does. The bullpen ended up taking over. Tanner Banks came in with Orion Kirkering and Strom to finish out the game. They held it down. Kyle Schwarber, he came through in late innings with a massive 3-run homer. That huge for Schwarber. He has been on a tear since the All-Star break. That was his 43rd home run, I believe, on the season, which is amazing for Kyle right now. Let's just see him continue with his home run race, and hopefully we have a home run champion at the end, beating Cal Raleigh in the National League at least. It wasn't just a win, though, this game. It was a statement for the Phils. After scoring 5 runs in the whole Red Series, the offense finally woke up, especially just this top of the order, the order and overall. It's been nice being able to see the bottom of our lineup pick up and hold games and be able to score runs for us when the top isn't doing what they need to do. But in all seriousness, the offense finally woke up, finally came through, and finally was able to do what we know this team is able to do. You could really feel that the energy with this team was back. This team is back. In the first inning, let's see how this game went. Bryce Harper, he opened up the game, scoring a double. He hit a double, scoring on a wild pitch in the game, gave the Phillies an early 1-0 lead. Fourth inning, Dylan Lyle hit a solo homer off a Wheeler, tied the game up. Phillies didn't panic, though. Wheels kept the Nationals hitters off balance, finishing 5 innings, 2 earned runs, and 5 strikeouts total. Great game for Wheels. 7th inning, huge offensive surge. Finally, we've been seeing lately with the Phils right now, where they're, beginning, middle of the game, they're not really alive. They're kind of seeing how pitchers are doing. They're not really hitting starters too well. But once they get into the bullpen, we're really tearing up a lot of bullpens around the league right now. Kyle Schwarber coming in, hits a go-ahead 3-run shot, breaking the 2-2 tie at the time, put the Phillies ahead 5-2. Bryce Harper then went ahead and followed back-to-back homers with a solo home run, extending us a 6-2 lead. Bullpen highlights: Tanner Banks, Orion Kirkering, Strom combined for 4 scoreless innings, which is huge. Kirkering was definitely struggling in the Red Series. They shut the Nationals down with a late rally attempt. Nationals trying to come back because a 6-2 lead we've noticed this season. That's not a huge lead for our bullpen to be able to grasp and be able to maintain for a while. Defensive plays: Castellanos, he made a crucial throw with a home plate in the second inning, prevented another run from scoring. That wouldn't have mattered at the end of the game, but it was still great, especially when we were still down in the early parts of that game. Jhoan Duran, though, he got struck on the foot by a line drive right back to him. X-rays are negative right now, so there's no long-term impact. He's probably going to be down for the next couple of days, though, just rehabbing that. But that was definitely scary for the Phillies bullpen. Jose Alvarado is expected to be back soon, so we are going to get that closer spot filled. But Jhoan Duran has been something that this Phillies team really needs. He has a 0 ERA since he come over to the Phillies. He's just save opportunities, killing every opportunity he gets. Jhoan Duran is definitely going to be a big corner piece for this Phillies team to be able to go deep into the playoffs. It's something that we haven't had We saw that with Craig Kimbrell when he led up in 2023 or 2022. Our bullpen struggles have been something that the Phillies really need to uh, capitalize on. All right, so moving on to tonight's game, we're playing our second game against the Nationals. Um, we're going to have Taijuan Walker is going to be on the mound. He's been a stabilizing force this season. A 3.39 ERA, 62 strikeouts, over 85 innings pitched. He's been effective, just allowing only 14 home runs and maintaining a 1.29 WHIP. Walker has been something for this Philly starters that we really need and we haven't seen out of him in these past couple of years. His recent performance, last performance was great. Solid outing against the Reds. That was the one win that we had in that Red series. So I feel comfortable with Taijuan on the mound tonight. Aaron Nola is expected to return from the injured list. Walker's role kind of becomes a little bit more critical now with the Phils. We're going to be adopting a six-man rotation to manage the workload of our starters, especially as we get later into the season. And Walker's consistency keeps him a huge component for this strategy. If we have Walker in there, we didn't see him in the playoffs for the past couple of years because he wasn't able to maintain that push that we needed him to have and the effectiveness that we wanted him to be. But he seems to be really stepping up into that role, and this is something that we can run a six-man rotation into playoffs to be able to alleviate that stress on a lot of our starters' arms, and something that we've seen a lot of our starters tire out from as we got deeper into the playoffs. He's going to face the Nationals lineup. They've been struggling. He's at his prime opportunity. The Phils are at their prime opportunity right now to stack wins and build momentum, especially with the Mets losing. We have to get a huge lead in the NL East right now. With this National Series, winning out the series, being able to get a bigger lead on the Mets with the Mets losing is something that we want the Phillies to do, continue to grow, and be comfortable when we get into late September baseball right before playoffs. We want to go into the end of the season knowing that we are securing the National League East spot and there is nobody going to be coming up behind us. We want to be able to rest our guys sooner so when we get into those playoffs, our guys are well rested and ready to play and ready to dominate so we can win a World Series this year. All in all, the Phillies tonight is going to be an exciting game. I'm ready to see if the Phillies can get their 71st win for the season. They hit 70. The record right now is 70-52, which is very exciting for the Phillies. We're 18 games above 500 right now. So let's keep this going. Let's keep this momentum going, and let's play baseball that we know how to play. Right, let's move on to this episode's hot take. Aaron Nola is more of a liability than an ace. He can't be trusted in big playoff moments. I love Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola has been someone that has been with this team through the thick and thin. But my belief with Aaron is we signed him for way too long of a deal, and he is going to be a liability for us as we get later and later into the seasons, as we get deeper and deeper through these seasons and these games. Aaron Nola is not going to be able to sustain that workhorse that he once was. I don't believe Aaron Nola is our answer. The respect for him and the love that he brings and our love that we have for Aaron is nothing against who he is as a person, but his performance and his age is really showing. Aaron Nola is a veteran within the clubhouse and a veteran within our pitching staff, and that is someone who can definitely show rookies coming up. But if we keep on relying on Knowles as much as we do to continue to think of him as that ace, we aren't going to get very far. Because at the end of the day, the respect is not something that is going to win us games. What's going to win us game is players that are able to, dominate and be continuously dominating, not older pitchers. We have to move him into a later role within our starting rotation. I wouldn't even be mad with moving him into our bullpen and being a relief guy at this point because his arm has taken so much wear and tear from the early Phillies where they weren't winning games, we weren't going to the playoffs, we were rebuilding our team, and he was great for that, and he was great to get us to this point. But at the same time, Knowles can't sustain what he's been doing for the past 10 years now. And sad to say, it might be time to move on from Aaron. All right, let's take a look around the league, see what's happening, some big moments. There's been some wild stuff going on. The Brewers right now on fire. They are definitely a team that the Phillies need to look out for as we get deeper into the end of the season and into playoffs. Milwaukee just pulled off a huge comeback for the ages. They were down 7-0 to the Reds. They stormed back to a 10-8 win. That's their 13th straight win on the season right now. They're tying a franchise record. Christian Yelich, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. He nearly hit for the cycle. Christian Yelich, he's a sleeper. Christian Yelich years ago was big. He still is one of the best ball players out there right now. And he's really showing this Brewers team that they can win, and they are a force to be reckoned with right now. Odds makers still unsure. You don't buy them. Mets, major meltdown. In Queens, the Mets are doing Mets things again. They're Metting. They lost 11-9 to the Mariners. They just DFA'd Paul Blackburn. Brooks Raley blew a lead. The Mets are doing exactly what we expect the Mets to do, and that's Metting. They've only scored 31 runs in their last 6 games, and only won once. The offense is fighting, but the bullpen is an absolute disaster. Phillies need to capitalize on the Mets losing. The Mets need to keep on doing what they're doing and not figure it out. So let's hope and pray that the Mets keep on doing what we know the Mets can do. Braves beat the Guardians 2-0. Houston Waldrop, he looks solid. Orioles nearly pitched a perfect game against Houston, which is so cool. We haven't had one of those this season yet. Would love to see a perfect game. Hopefully it's for the Phillies. Blue Jays, they edged the Rangers to a close one. Alexandro Kirk had 4 RBIs, and the Rockies beat the Diamondbacks 4-3 thanks to Hunter Goodman's homer. So the league's really looking crazy right now. Definitely 2 things to look at. The Mets and the Brewers, those are teams that the Phillies want to keep an eye on. And we hope the Brewers are kind of getting hot right about now, and they're going to slow down once they get the playoffs. And the Mets are just they're kind of fizzling out, and they're going to lose their lead and not even make it into the wild cards, because we do not want to play the Mets again. All right, finally, let's take a look at the heart of baseball, the reason why we all started Little League, and what's happening right now, the Little League World Series. Right there, Williamsport started. 20 teams facing off from around the world, half of them from the United States, half of them from other countries, playing together for one final game, international versus American. It's such a cool thing for those kids to be able to do and go and see and be able to be a part of. Cody Bellinger, he was definitely one of those people who played in that, and for him, it got him that stardom in the beginning, and it makes these kids feel like superstars as young kids, and they get to live that baseball dream that they have, and they don't lose that passion for it because they're doing this. Right now, Fairfield, Connecticut National, they're turning heads. They beat Texas 1-0 and took them down. Hawaii 5-1 thanks to a 2-run hit by Luca Pellegrini. International side, Venezuela shut out Puerto Rico 5-0, and that's after dealing with travel issues and visa chaos. This is baseball at its purest form. Kids are chasing dreams. They're playing with heart. They're having fun. Again, this is why we all fell in love with the game right here. So keep an eye on that. Watch the Little League World Series. It's such a fun time this time of year, especially with Players Weekend coming up. You really get to see these guys be kids again, and it really makes us feel like why we fell in love with this sport in the first place. It's not about the betting. It's not about the teams winning or losing. It's about the fun and the love of the game. All right, so, just to recap, the Phillies got a huge bounce back with a W last night. Hopefully they keep this ball rolling. Jhoan Duran, he gave us that scare, but, early signs are looking good, and we're hoping to have him back in the bullpen as soon as possible. We're going to watch Walker in the pen tonight in Game 2. Again, we're praying for a win. Let the Phillies keep on rolling. Brewers, they're rolling, and we really want the Brewers to keep on doing what they're doing and keep everybody out. We want them to fizzle out. And the Mets, let the Mets keeps on Metting. As well as the Little League World Series, it's full of heart. So thank you for taking the time to watch this and help our podcast grow. Please make sure that to like, subscribe, and follow our podcast on Spotify. Follow our Instagram, follow our TikTok, and just spread this word to your friends and family, because we really want to be able to grow and put out more content for you and better content. So if you like this, drop a comment and drop a comment for your hot take that you would like to have on the show next week. Thank you. Have a nice day.